Every little comment, every small setback, if it all gets under your skin, you are giving away your power. The truth is, the most unshakable people don't have fewer problems, they have just mastered how they react. Imagine walking through life unfazed, no more overthinking, no more emotional outbursts, just complete control. In this episode, I'll teach you how to train your mind to act as if nothing bothers you, so you stop feeling trapped by your emotions and start owning them instead. Because once you master this skill, nothing and no one will ever have control over you again. 1. Mastering the nothing bothers me state. Life is filled with noise, people's opinions, daily frustrations, unexpected setbacks. The world is relentless in throwing distractions, criticisms, and roadblocks in your path. But what if I told you true strength comes from mastering the art of indifference? Imagine walking through a storm without flinching, without losing your composure. That's what it means to act as if nothing bothers you. The key? Learning to detach your emotions from external circumstances. Because when you allow external events to dictate your mood, you become a puppet to forces beyond your control. But when you train your mind to remain unmoved, you become the master of your destiny. The world respects those who stay calm in chaos, who don't crumble under pressure. When you embody this mindset, you command authority without saying a word. You move through life with presence, with power, with unshakable confidence. Think of the most influential individuals in history. They weren't the ones who reacted impulsively to every slight or criticism. They moved with an air of control, as if they knew something the world did not. Their strength didn't lie in arguing or fighting back. It lay in their ability to remain unaffected. That is the true power of indifference. 2. Emotional mastery. Your mind, your weapon. Let's go deeper. In all the great books on self-mastery and success, from Think and Grow Rich to The Power of Now, one truth is echoed again and again. Thought precedes action. What you think, you become. If you constantly react emotionally to the world, you give away your power. But if you cultivate an unwavering mindset, the world starts to bend to your will. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine something insults you in public. The natural reaction for most? Anger, retaliation, defensiveness. But what happens when you simply smile and walk away? You rob the instigator of their power. They expected a reaction. When they don't get it, they are left unsettled. You, on the other hand, walk away stronger, untouched, undefeated. This is silent dominance. Few understand it, but all admire it. The same applies to failures and setbacks. When most people face rejection or defeat, they drown in frustration. They lose days, weeks, even years, lamenting over what went wrong. But those who understand the power of indifference, they see failure for what it is. Just data, a learning experience, an adjustment, a stepping stone. They don't internalize failure. They observe, they adapt, and they move forward. So how do you cultivate this level of control? It starts with a simple daily habit. Pause before you react. Ask yourself, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? Is my reaction necessary, or am I giving away my power? Every time you choose non-reaction, you build a mental armor, one that shields you from the trivialities of life. Here's another powerful technique: visualization. See yourself clearly as someone who moves through life unaffected. Picture a version of you who doesn't flinch at insults, who doesn't crumble under pressure. Reinforce that image in your mind again and again, because what you vividly imagine, you begin to live. Let people wonder why you're not rattled. Let them question how you stay so composed, because when you show that nothing bothers you, you take control of the game. You become an enigma, a force, a presence, and in that mystery lies your strength. 4. True power is presence. True power is not about domination or aggression, it is about presence. A presence so strong it doesn't need to prove itself. A presence that commands respect through silence, through an unshakable state of mind. Master this and you master life. To stay unshaken, think about the strongest people you know. They don't react impulsively. They don't let emotions dictate their actions. They pause, they assess, they respond with intention. This is not because they lack emotions, but because they have mastered them. Emotional detachment isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about controlling them. 5. Emotional detachment and strategic power. Picture this: you are in a heated argument. The other person is trying to provoke you. Do you react? Do you let their words control your emotions? Or do you smile, unaffected, knowing their words have no weight unless you give them power? Emotional detachment is about refusing to hand over your peace to external forces. It's about understanding that your inner world is sacred, untouchable. When you adopt this approach, stress decreases, clarity increases, and life's challenges become more puzzles to solve, not battles to fight. Think of the principle that thoughts shape reality. What you focus on, you attract. When you allow external events to dictate your state of mind, you become a slave to circumstances. But when you take control of your thoughts and emotions, you become the architect of your own fate. Consider the story of a man who lost everything. His business collapsed, his investments crumbled, he was left with nothing. Most would drown in despair, but not him. Instead, he saw the failure as a lesson, not a tragedy. He understood that his mind was his greatest asset, and no external loss could take that away. With this mindset, he rebuilt everything, stronger than before. This is the power of detachment. When you stop identifying with failures or setbacks, you free yourself to rise above them. A major reason people fail to achieve their goals is emotional turbulence. They let fear, doubt, and frustration control them. They start with ambition but give up the moment challenges arise. But those who master detachment understand that emotions are just fleeting sensations. They don't allow temporary feelings to derail long term goals. They persist because they have trained their minds to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Training yourself to be emotionally detached does not mean you become cold or indifferent. It means you no longer allow external forces to dictate your internal state. You can experience joy, sadness, and excitement, but you remain in control. Your emotions serve you, not the other way around. To develop this mindset, practice setting back in emotionally charged situations. The next time someone insults you, pause. Instead of reacting, observe your feelings. Ask yourself, does this affect my life in any meaningful way? More often than not, the answer is no. By choosing not to react, you take away their power over you. 6. Purpose over petty distractions. Detachment also comes from having a clear purpose. When you have a strong vision, petty distractions no longer shake you. Your focus becomes unbreakable because you understand that your energy is too valuable to waste on things that don't serve you. The world belongs to those who master themselves. The more you cultivate emotional control, the more unstoppable you become. While others panic, you remain calm. While others react, you respond. And in doing so, you gain an advantage that few ever will. True strength is not about physical dominance or loud displays of power. It's about having an unshakable presence, one that commands respect without demanding it. When you master the art of emotional detachment, you don't just navigate life, you control it. 7. Mindful indifference is a superpower. We are conditioned to believe we must care about everything: people's opinions, their validation, their judgments. Society teaches us that our worth is measured by how much we invest in the thoughts and expectations of others. But true freedom, it comes when you realize that most things simply don't matter. The next time you find yourself overthinking, ask, will this matter in 5 years? If not, let it go. Most of what troubles us, criticism, temporary setbacks, fleeting embarrassments, becomes insignificant with time. Yet we allow them to consume our thoughts, dictate our emotions, and control our actions. This is why mastering indifference is the key to regaining your power. Indifference doesn't mean apathy, it means prioritization. It means recognizing that your energy is finite and choosing to invest it in what truly deserves your focus. Not every battle is worth fighting, not every opinion is worth considering. When you stop reacting to every minor inconvenience, you regain control. You shift from being emotionally reactive to being strategically responsive. And that shift, it changes everything. Think of the people you admire the most. They aren't the ones desperately seeking approval or reacting emotionally to every challenge. They are the ones who stand firm, unshaken by the noise of the world. They know who they are, and because of that, they cannot be easily manipulated or influenced. When you adopt this mindset, something remarkable happens. People start to respect you more, not because you seek their validation, but because they see you as someone who cannot be moved. In a world where most are desperate to fit in, to be liked, to conform, the one who stands firm in their own self worth holds the true power. 8. Stop seeking approval. Seeking approval is a trap. It places your happiness in the hands of others, making you dependent on their validation. The reality, no one's opinion of you should outweigh your own. The moment you give someone else the power to define your worth, you lose control over your own life. True confidence isn't given, it's built through self reliance, through knowing that you don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. Think of the most magnetic individuals you have ever encountered. They don't beg for approval, they don't shrink themselves to fit in. They own who they are, flaws and all, and that's what makes them powerful. Their power lies in their unwavering sense of self. While others chase validation, they walk their own path unapologetically. The need for approval is rooted in fear, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of standing alone. But here's the truth, the more you seek approval, the more you surrender your power. You become a prisoner of expectations, bending and twisting yourself to fit into molds designed by others. And in doing so, you betray yourself. Freedom comes when you release the need to be liked by everyone. It's an illusion to think that universal approval is even possible. No matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. Some will admire you, others will criticize you, and many won't care at all. So why waste your energy trying to please everyone? 9. Handling criticism with power. Criticism is inevitable, but how you handle it defines your strength. Most people crumble at the first sign of disapproval. They take every comment to heart, allowing it to shape their identity, dictate their actions, and weaken their resolve. But why? Criticism is nothing more than words, opinions, perspectives, often from people who don't even understand your journey. The strongest individuals don't let criticism shake them, they assess it with a clear mind. Take what's useful, discard the rest. No unnecessary emotion, no overreaction, just selective attention to what truly matters. Filter criticism through logic, not emotion. Keep what serves you, ignore what doesn't, and never let someone's opinion disrupt your peace. 10. Letting go of what you can't control. Suffering often comes from attachment to outcomes, to expectations, to things outside of our control. We grip tightly to what we think should happen, to how we believe life should unfold. And when reality doesn't align with our desires, we feel pain. But true mental strength, it lies in letting go. Picture a river. Water flows around obstacles, never resisting, never fighting. It does not demand that rocks move out of its way, nor does it stop flowing when met with resistance. It adapts. That's how you must approach life. Some things will happen regardless of how much you stress over them. The job offer that never came, the person who walked away, the setback you didn't anticipate. You can either resist and suffer, or you can adapt and move forward. The choice is always yours. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about shifting your focus to what you can control. Clinging to expectations makes you fragile. It traps you in a cycle of frustration, replaying past events, questioning what could have been different. But when you embrace the reality that some things are beyond your influence, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Think of the strongest people you know. They are not the ones who fight against the inevitable. They are the ones who remain calm in the face of uncertainty. They have mastered detachment, not from life, but from the illusion of control. They understand that life is unpredictable and that peace comes from flowing with it, not against it. Most people spend their energy trying to force outcomes. They attach their happiness to specific results. If things go as planned, they feel satisfied. If not, they fall apart. That is a weak way to live. Strength comes from being adaptable. When you detach from rigid expectations, you develop a resilience that makes you unstoppable. No event, no disappointment, no setback can break you. The key to letting go is awareness. The next time you find yourself holding on to something too tightly, an outcome, a person, an expectation, pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Do not waste your energy on what you cannot change. Instead, redirect it towards something that moves you forward. Detachment is a skill. It requires practice. Start small. Let go of minor frustrations, the long line at the store, the slow traffic, the unexpected change in plans. Observe how freeing it feels to not react, to not allow external circumstances to dictate your mood. Over time, apply this mindset to bigger challenges. Some may mistake detachment for indifference, but they are not the same. Indifference is apathy, a refusal to engage with life. Detachment, on the other hand, is a deep understanding that while you can participate in life fully, you do not have to be ruled by its uncertainties. You can care deeply about your goals, your relationships, your experiences, but you do not have to suffer when things don't go as expected. The moment you choose to let go of what you can't control, you become untouchable. You walk through life with a sense of peace that others admire but cannot understand. While they are consumed by frustration and disappointment, you remain steady, unshaken. They wonder how you do it, why nothing seems to disturb your composure. The truth? You have simply mastered the art of letting go. So stop resisting, accept what is, adapt to what comes, and above all, remember the strongest minds do not cling, they flow just like the river. They move forward untouched by the obstacles in their path. 11. Silence is the ultimate power move. In a world obsessed with noise, silence is a weapon. Most people talk to fill space, to gain validation, to prove something. But the most powerful individuals, they don't speak unnecessarily. They listen, they observe, they calculate. And when they finally speak, every word carries weight. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to second guess themselves, to analyze your thoughts, to wonder what you are thinking. In a conversation, the one who speaks less holds more control. Words reveal, but silence conceals. When you master the art of silence, you shift power dynamics in your favor. You gain control over conversations, over situations, over how people perceive you. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it with explanations, justifications, unnecessary words. But when you hold back, you force others to reveal themselves. The more they speak, the more they expose their thoughts, their insecurities, their intentions. Meanwhile, you remain a mystery, and in that mystery lies power. Imagine being in a negotiation. The person across from you presents an offer and expects an immediate response. But instead of reacting, you pause. You let silence stretch. The longer you wait, the more unsettled they become. They start second guessing. They fill the silence with better terms, compromises, desperation. Why? Because silence creates tension, and tension creates leverage. The same principle applies in everyday interactions. The next time someone insults you, stay silent. Most people expect a reaction, anger, defense, retaliation. When you give them nothing, they lose power over you. They start wondering if their words had any effect. They start feeling foolish. Your silence forces them to deal with their own emotions rather than feeding off yours. 12. Train yourself to stay calm no matter what. Your mind is your battlefield. The thoughts you allow in will determine whether you win or lose. Every doubt, every fear, every hesitation, these are enemies that must be conquered. The strongest individuals are not those who never experience negative thoughts, but those who refuse to be controlled by them. To train an unshakable mind, you must build mental habits. Gratitude to counter negativity, discipline to override laziness, detachment to eliminate suffering. Just as the body grows stronger through resistance, the mind becomes resilient through daily training. You cannot expect mental toughness to appear in moments of crisis. If you have not considered yourself for it, every day you must train yourself to be unfazed, to pause before reacting, to breathe before responding. Most people are slaves to their emotions, reacting impulsively, acting out of fear, surrendering to frustration. But the ones who control their minds control everything. This is how warriors think. This is how leaders operate. They do not allow distractions, disappointments, or insults to shake them. They move through life with a sense of purpose, a deep-rooted calm that others cannot comprehend. And because of this, they become unbreakable. Understand this. Mental strength is built in the small, everyday moments. It is in waking up early when you'd rather sleep, in staying silent when you could argue, in pushing forward when everything in you wants to quit. The mind, like a muscle, grows through resistance. 13. Move in silence. Let success make the noise. Real power moves in silence. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't need validation. It simply acts and let the results speak for themselves. The loudest people in the room are often the weakest. They crave recognition. They announce their intentions. They seek approval. But the strongest, they move quietly, strategically, with precision. If you want to be respected, stop announcing your plans. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. Just do the work. Make progress. Success is not built through words, it is built through action. The more you talk, the more you invite scrutiny, doubt, resistance. But when you work in silence, no one sees you coming, and by the time they notice, it's too late. The strongest individuals don't waste energy proving themselves, they let their success do the talking. They don't argue, they don't seek to impress, they don't over explain, they move with certainty, and that certainty commands respect. Final words. The moment you stop looking for validation, you start becoming unstoppable. There's a reason why the most influential figures in history weren't the ones constantly talking about their next move. They understood power is not in promises, it is in execution. They did not explain their vision to those who wouldn't understand. They simply built, created, and dominated in silence. Master your mind, and you master your life. Thank you so much.